What's up, icons? So in a previous video I showed you guys how to turn these old business cards into new digital business cards where you only need one digital business card to give to everyone, so you can get rid of these stacks of old business cards you need. Well, now what do you do with your old business cards? I've come up with a few things you can do with your business cards so that way they're not a total waste.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.
So the first thing I created was this little promotional book that you can use to give to customers. As you can see, it's my old business card. There's two business cards in here and all I did was add some promos on the inside. So how do you create this? Well, I started out in Canva by printing out this sheet of different promotional offers that has like the disclaimer on the back. So before I get into putting the promotional book together, I'm going to show you guys how I created this in Canva. So starting with an 8.5 by 11 canvas, I'm going to add in a rectangle that is 2 inches by 7 inches long to be the size for 2 business cards. Then I'm going to put as many on the screen as I want to, and then put a line down the middle so that way I know where the center is, because that's where I'm going to have to cut the different promos when I print it out. Then I'll go in and put whatever artwork or information that I want on each page. I decided to put 5, which would technically be 10 in the end, because we're only using half of this. This is for double the business cards, one on each side. So you can fit a total of 10 different promos on here. If you're doing promos or whatever information you want to put in there, you can put up to 10. So now that that page is done, I'm going to duplicate that page just so I can have the rectangles already on my page and I don't have to redo it. But I'll delete all of the information that was on the first page, because now we're going to add in the disclaimer or whatever you want to put on the back of your information. This will be the back side of the page, so I'm adding in a disclaimer. And then once you have your promos done, you'll duplicate this, or if it's going to be different information on the back of each one, you'll want to type it in for each promo that you need on the back. But for me, it's all the same, so I'm just duplicating all of those. And then now I'm going to go back to the first page, because now you guys see exactly how I did it all. So now I just need to do the other side of both pages. So I'm going to duplicate everything I've done, and then I'll go in and update the information for the other promotional offers that I want to put on the other pages. So now that the front is done, I'm going and duplicating the back. This one's easy because, like I said, all of my backs are going to be exactly the same. So I just need to duplicate it all and line it all up. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to delete all the rectangles and the line down the middle, because for some reason my printer, when I try to print it out with those lines so I can use it as a cut line, they wouldn't line up with the front and the back. So I just deleted those out because it made my life easier. But once those are deleted out, then I'll go into and just like line up everything a little better to make sure, you know, I don't cut anything out that I need. And then once all that is done, you can save it, download it, and then all you have left to do is print everything out. Just make sure you print it out properly so that the front and back lines up on one sheet. So that's all I did in Canva, and I already have it printed out for you guys. I have a total of 10 promo offers that I'm putting in this book that I can send off to customers. I'll probably do just like my VIP customers that I'll give this to, and these are promotional offers they can use throughout the entire 2022. Now these codes aren't the actual codes, so for those of you that think you're about to go use these on my website, they're not gonna work. I created these codes specifically for this video, but the VIP buyers will get a promo book. And now that I have it printed out, all I need to do is go ahead and start cutting them out. I'm gonna do this off camera because, as you guys can see from when I was showing you in Canva, I took away the lines just because my printer wasn't printing them out correctly. So now I'll be using a ruler and a pencil to actually cut these out straight and neat. So I'm gonna do that off camera and then I'll be back. So now I have all the strips cut out, and originally what I was doing was I was going to leave these as one strip. You can see I didn't really cut them neatly, and then just fold it, because then once you fold it, all you had to do, sorry my phone's going off, all you had to do was staple it down the middle so that way you can create a book. I'll show you 1 second. Okay, so once they're all folded, all you do is insert these one inside of the other so that way you can create a book. and then we'll add the business cards. But I actually found something that seems a little bit easier to do than to do it this way, because you can staple it here. But what I'm gonna do is actually cut these right down the middle. Okay, now I have them all cut out. So these are all my little squares. And all I'm going to do is take one of my old business cards, put that on the front side of it, take a second business card, put it on the back, and then I'm just going to add one staple on the side. Okay, now the staples there. If you want to, you could do 2 separate staples on each end, but I just did one. Then I bought this ribbon from Dollar Tree just to put on the edge of the business card, so that way you don't see the staple anymore, you just cover it up. And then we have our flip book. I use this roll-on adhesive that I got off of Amazon. This is a removable adhesive, so it won't last forever, so I would use actual glue, but just for video purposes, I'm going to use this. This usually takes a little second to actually adhere because the glue needs to dry on. But that is it. Now I have a promo book that has different offers. Customers can go in and rip out an offer that they want to use for that year. Once it's done, you delete it, and then they still have your contact information. So not a total waste of your business cards. You can create a little promo booklet they can give to customers. This will be good during holiday times. This will be good during a new year to start out a fresh year like I'm doing. I'm giving it as a New Year's promo offer, and then they can use it throughout the entire year. So that's option 1. Now I'm going into option 2 is turning your old business cards into hang tags. This one's really simple and easy. So all you're going to do is take an old business card, and then you'll want to cut the corners at like a 45-degree angle. Now for mine, you can see like part of my website is cut off just because I had the wording going all the way to the edge. So you'll want to be mindful of that if you're cutting anything off, but I figure because it's just the www part, it's not necessary. You can still see the website, and on the stuff on the back is still visible, so it's okay. So what I did was I took a ruler to measure my corners to make sure the corners come out correctly. So I did about a 1/2 inch on each corner. So now the corners are cut. I'm going to take a piece of ribbon, probably only like 1 inch. You don't need that much. I'm not even going to measure. I'm just going to cut a piece off. And now we're going to glue this one on, or if you do like washi tape, that's already an adhesive, so you won't need to add anything. You would just stick it on, but since I use ribbon, I have to add the adhesive. And stick that somewhere in the center of where you just made those 2 cuts. Then take a hole puncher and add your hole in the center. And then the last thing you need is the string. You can add this hang tag onto clothing if you want, onto different gifts you give out, so that way your contact information is attached to the gift. But now you have a hang tag made out of a business card. And then for the last thing that I did with my business cards, which I didn't do it on camera, but I have a few examples I'll show you guys. I literally took some gold spray paint. You can use any color spray paint, and I literally just painted them gold. So now I have these gold cards that you can use for anything. You can run these through your printer and print whatever you want to print on them. You can write on them. I even have some chalkboard paint, so like the black paint, and I can write on them with the chalkboard paint. You can use them as labels to label things. Like if you're trying to label your inventory, use those cards to put the style number on the chalkboard paint, or even on the gold, just write it with Sharpie and use them as labels. So many different ways you can use your old business cards and make it into something new. That's it for this video. Those were a few quick, easy ideas of how to use your old business cards so they don't just become trash. Thank you for watching.